Is there anyone who doesn't know Maurizio? Maurizio's a beyond expert trader, worked with me for years. Super good.
Uh, thank you, thank you.
Dashing, good looking man too.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Paul. Um, yeah, I'm interested in your take on it because, for me, it kind of goes in fits and starts, right? Like it was
hmm
very, very interesting and exciting, and the last probably month has been like fucking watching paint dry
hmm
with a few little moments of absolute terror.
Yep,
Um,
definitely.
and yeah, before I queer the board, like let's see what you think, and then let's see what Antoine thinks, and then let's see what Ian thinks, and yeah, go hard.
Sure, 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 sure. So, I did prepare something in terms of all the positions that we have, with visually and some technical analysis, so basic technical analysis. So let me just go through what I've seen so far in terms of Bitcoin. Let me just share my screen. 1 second.
This market's certainly not making it easy for us, is it?
Oh, no, no, not at all. All right. So let me just get this. All right. Let me just start with this. All right. Let me start with Bitcoin because Bitcoin has been very, very interesting. Well, interesting or not, here's my take. So I'm looking at Bitcoin here, and usually what I do is I look at the logarithm scale, and I have a few averages here just to see the price. The interesting thing is, if I move this to a weekly, um, I always like to sort of draw my supports and resistance on the weekly side of things. And if you have a look, right, this is the weekly chart, and I like to sort of always look for the highs and the tops, right? And that creates a really, really good support or resistance. Depends on where you go look at it. So this is the highest, the highest high that we had on November 21st. That's on 2021, right? And this is the actual close of that week. So you can see now we are almost
Do you want
breaking
to
that
do
level
you want to
completely.
zoom that in a bit, dude? It's
Sure,
all
sure, 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 sure.
so that looks very different on a weekly chart than it did on the daily. It like takes all the noise out of it, right?
Exactly. I all my support and resistance, especially long term, I do like to draw my weekly stuff. And if you look at here, like this range from the high to the close, right? We are rejecting it. So more than likely, this is a highly likelihood that it's going to keep going, right? It's
Correct.
now it's now creating a support out of it. And if I zoom this into daily now, right, using the
And,
same.
and by support, you mean like a million traders all of a sudden bought Bitcoin when it hit all-time highs because that's generally a
Mhm.
smart thing to do. Buy a market that's breaking out to all-time highs because that's worked every single time. And now that level becomes significant for those people because everyone in their mind who bought Bitcoin for 70,000 is like Bitcoin's worth 70,000. That's what I paid for it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So that's kind of the level that I like to keep. Like I want to watch it now. If you look at the same levels on daily, it's kind of noisy, right? It's a lot of volatility happening at that level.
Now,
However,
how long is that pullback? Because I mean, that's there's two. So we were very, very overbought, like,
mhm.
and you can work overboughtness off through time or through price.
hmm
Have we done enough time to shake the tourists out? Because that's what we're trying to do here. Where the market will go up if the tourists get shaken out. Hey, Antoine, how are you, brother?
It's still connecting. It's
Cool.
connecting his audio.
That's how cool he is. He doesn't even answer. That's how cool the man is.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
For
Yeah,
those
you're
of you who
right.
don't know Antoine, he's smart, but he's also intimidatingly good looking. He's like a ridiculously good looking modeled French guy with the accent. and he's smart and a stand-up comedian and he's rich too. And this boy gets more ass than a toilet seat. Like literally more ass than a toilet seat. My fucking wife likes him more than she does me.
Thank you, Scott, again for this introduction. You forgot one thing. You can also see me on the BBC.
Oh yeah, I saw you on the BBC last week. You were in the middle of an earthquake.
Yeah, can you guys see my video? I cannot see the return of my video on the Zoom.
No, we can see. We can see.
Yeah, yeah. We can,
Okay,
we can.
cool. All right. Yeah, I can see you're charting some stuff here.
Okay, so this is our friend Maurizio who's going to go first, and then I'll get your take on the market. Antoine is a specialist in on-chain meme coins, and most of the meme stuff that I've learned and shared with you guys, I got it from Antoine. So I'm like going straight to the source here.
All right.
Awesome.
So Maurizio, sorry to interrupt. Continue, go.
No problem, mate. So essentially in terms of how long this is going for, that's a very good question. So far from the top, we have, give it a take, about 24 days. But if we look at the last pullback,
Average 19 to 31 days.
yep, it took about 15 days, yeah, to actually shake things up, to the break, roughly about 33 days. So we are roughly in the window, right? Especially with the halving coming. So that will be very interesting happening. So yeah, I like it. In terms of if these levels hold, right? I think we had a very strong chance that we going to have strength Bitcoin, and obviously that's going to strengthen everything up. Another thing that I want to show you is the market, the dominance. Let me just show you something in the weekly Bitcoin dominance. So that's actually pretty interesting. So this is the weekly Bitcoin dominance, right? So essentially, what it means is, if people are actually holding their Bitcoins. Now we're very far. Just let me close the door screen. All right, so we're very far from that weekly, right? From the weekly top. So we do have a lot of room to move if it continues on.
So what you're talking about here is how alt season are we?
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of Bitcoin, essentially, with the Bitcoin dominance, we still have a lot of dominance left, so to speak. So if I draw this as my immediate sort of support, like resistance, right? We do have a lot of movement, right? So the first one that I'm going to watch will be this one right here. Second. So that's my immediate support and resistance level.
Do you really think that Bitcoin can continue to appreciate faster than altcoins from 70,000? Like,
that's an interesting thing. Maybe not, but the fact that Bitcoin is actually holding everything together in mind.
Because FinRev trades Bitcoin dominance futures, by the way.
Correct. On Binance. Binance is the only one that actually has that token, right? So, well, that sort of perp or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's something that I find interesting. So yeah, I do like it so far. So far so good in terms of Bitcoin.
Okay, now how does that translate to alts, and which alts do you like? And yeah, because right now it's been Bitcoin over alts, right?
Yep.
So that's definitely been the cycle. When that changes, we've got two options. Does it change to be alt season, or does it change to be everything goes down together?
So what I see in terms of the total tree, right? We're very close to local tops, like in the weekly side of things. We are very close to this one. So that's kind of the biggest one that I'm gonna watch closely. And this one, we have that as a support. So we're sort of in between this range, right? So in terms of alts, the first one that breaks, in my view, is actually the first one is going to win. So if Bitcoin breaks first, so Bitcoin is gonna keep holding, but that's gonna drag alts on that. That's gonna drag the whole alt market completely up, right? In my view. So we do have a really strong chance of alts keep moving. In terms of, I did put all our positions in terms of entries, and everything looks really, really good. So this is all our portfolio so far, how it stands, right? And in terms of all the entries that we've done. And let me just move through those quickly. I'm gonna watch this in a daily. So obviously we have PT, which is the FEMEX token, right? It's actually looking really good. We enter on December. I draw this line, which is basically when they actually listed. So that becomes a really, really strong support. So now it's over.
And we got in somewhere near the lows there too, right?
Yeah. So we got right here. So and I can share this chart with everybody, because I'm gonna keep tracking of all the positions here. And now we have, we entered around here. Good entry. We had a little bit of drawdown, but now we very strongly like this day, but like this candle, for people that doesn't know, is when the coin that it actually gets listed. So the coin gets listed on the exchange, which is FEMEX, right? And then on the day of listing, right, the token moved all the way up to here, right there, right? 3, like you went all the way up to 3 and it came down to here. So it actually closed at 0.8. Okay, so essentially we have that room to go. That's the only price they know, right? In terms of a new coin coming into the market, psychological levels or whatever. That's the last price that we know in terms of the last high that.
I mean, if it gets there, it could be anything, right? Is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. And if that breaks, it goes into sort of like what some people call price discovery, because then the token has never been there. So it could actually be worth that price, or it's actually formal, people actually buying into it. So it creates new lows, new highs, and that's basically what we're looking for in the future, right? But
there's no reason to sell anyone who's got that. I'm holding that. I've been holding that for months. Like,
no, definitely. I'll if you're still holding it, I'll keep holding this one. Definitely has a good potential. Then let's go back to Pendle. Pendle, same deal.
That's amazing.
That's our entry. This one, we're entering on fair 4. Are we still going hard on this one? Like there's no sort of like ideas to actually take this off the table completely. It could actually just move around, right? Because this is the listing price, by the way. The listing price was about 92, and now we're up to 6, so 6x from listing, right? So essentially we are in discovery price. So essentially this could keep going, or could wiggle in to find out what's this going to be.
Can you zoom in a bit, please?
Sure.
Can't see it. Yep. Yeah, definitely not selling any Pendle. That's my number 1 pick right now.
Perfect. All right, let's solve. Definitely. Obviously, we have some. That's the position out here. I haven't done much on this one, but that's self-explanatory. And I have done stuff. No, I haven't done much in this. It should be here. Yeah.
Wow.
So let me just draw. I did draw some levels in terms of weekly stuff like that. So let me just move it into weekly. So those are weekly chart on Sol.
That's so close to all-time highs. There's no way that's not hitting all-time highs, dude.
I do agree, especially on the narrative. So like all the projects that has been going on in Sol is just unbelievable. I think this could become the new Ethereum. That's what some people say, right? Like it's like overcoming Ethereum on a big.
Can you hit Control Plus a couple of times, bro?
Sorry?
Control Plus, just whack it a couple of times. There we go. Okay, let's keep moving. We've got a lot to get through.
Perfect.
That looks good.
Yeah, that looks really good. Injective, same deal. Listing price is above the listing. It's in price discovery mode. We're still, very, very, very good on this one. So I'm not, yeah.
It's
Injective
bouncing,
looks
it's bouncing off support, right?
bounce really high on this one. So you can actually see that is becoming a really, really strong support. So it bounced, and this is on a weekly, by the way. So yeah, bounce came back, bounce came back, bounce came back. So more than likely, on any strength on Bitcoin and everything else, this more than likely is going to keep going. That would be my take on this one. We do have Mutex. So let me just move it into weekly. So the interesting on this one is that we are below our listing price, right? So the listing price was about here, so we still have a bunch of resistance to go through. But if we cross that top one right here, the $5 range, this could go all the way up to 9, 10. So we do have a strong resistance to come through. This is not clearing yet. So this one could be really interesting to watch. But if you have a look at here, same supports are
Well,
being
these charts look
respected.
the same, man. They
Yeah,
all,
they do, man. They do. The only difference on this ones is that some ones will have already some ones are new, so they are in price discovery, right? You don't know how long they're gonna go for, and some of them already have some support in terms of some holders in terms of when people actually bought a listing and stuff like that. So that's the only difference. But besides that, everything looks exactly the same. Have a look at this one. So this one is actually, that's our entry, looking pretty good. Phoenix, obviously the strongest of all. It's completely broke this range. So still looking for what's going to be support and what is going to be resistance. I'll throw some stuff for next week. Just gonna Binance, BNB is actually pretty, but from this one, let's have a look at the weekly stuff, because this one is getting very close to,
this is just below all-time highs, right?
yes, exactly. And so this is all-time highs completely right there. So
The first major coin to break all-time highs, I think will go into price discovery, whether it's Solana,
Yep.
whether it's Solana, whether it's BNB, what else is in the mix there? Ethereum's way out of the running. Like,
yeah, there's way out. Bitcoin, obviously, it is on that sort of discovery
Bitcoin,
right now.
none of the
Definitely.
people who are after alts are going to treat Bitcoin like an alt. Like Bitcoin's its own thing.
Yeah.
So is this one going to make the first all-time high, or you don't think so?
Probably Solana, in my view, could be Solana. That would be my guess. Solana is the strongest one of between BNB and yeah. So I think Solana is going to break first. If it keeps performing the way it is, that's going to be the one. Now it's also sort of divided. We do have some multiple entries on these ones on Woo. So on Woo, we have these multiple entrances. So let me just show you on the weekly. And Woo looks really, really good. What a good entry, this one. Fantastic. That was on November, and then still holding. We have a multiple entry right here, but as you can see, that's why I really like the weekly support and resistance. Have a look at this one, how good that becomes a support. So it broke the resistance, and now it becomes support, and now it's right there on the weekly. So I'm watching this level, but if that breaks this level right here, which is the 0.62 cents, I think that's gonna go up there, and then yeah. So we still got good gaps to go on Woo, but we have multiple entries right there. Ondo, definitely no question on this one. Really, really great price discovery right now. I think it's going to just wiggle around, and then if Bitcoin keeps going, this one will definitely keep going. Sui, same deal. But we still have, it hasn't break the price discovery range on Sui, so we still have some levels to break, some highs here. Kudos working
I
really
think
good.
this one, I think Sui looks like really very promising price action to me. This looks close enough to the all-time highs that it's almost certainly going to get there.
Yeah, I do believe so. So if everything keeps going as it is, as those are the levels that it needs to break on the weekly side of things in order to keep going. Probably is going to sort of range like this before it goes all the way up. Probably, especially after halving. After halving will be very, very interesting. Well, pre and after. So I think that's what everybody's expecting, I guess. Kudos. Same deal. Well, with Kudos, we do have a lot of levels to break. So that's the thing. Some of the new stuff, there's no break, like all this price discovery. But these ones, right, like Kudos and Woo, they do have some big levels to break. So we're gonna find resistance right there. So volatility and stuff like that. But if it keeps breaking, it's just gonna go. And last, obviously, we do have some in our portfolio. We have the pairs trading, which is the short. We have a short and a long. So we have a short on Bitcoin and an Ethereum long, right? Which that translates into this spread. So we still, so with the spread,
On this, I don't like this trade anymore, but I think it's gonna work. But it's been a painful trade.
it is because we're down on the spread a lot. But this blue line, let me just zoom out, is actually onto support on that trend right there. So it might hold off. But if this hold off and this start making progress, I think Ethereum is going to come into play, and now alts will follow that. Like if we follow the same narrative that happened on the last bull run. So yeah, but I'm in the same page with you in terms of this one, Scott. I'm not completely convinced. However, it's holding. Like that was my line of the sand, so to speak, right? But now it actually closed above this morning. So yeah, that's where we are in terms of the spread with this trade. So we can, yeah.
All right, let's keep moving through.
That's it. That's all we have in the portfolio so far. So yeah.
So everything's good. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
that, aside from Ethereum, Bitcoin, there's nothing that you see that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do, right? Like it's a sit on your hands situation.
Yeah, everything is set on hands. This is the only one that I'm completely, I don't know if we should, but it's holding. So yeah.
Okay, so let's give it over to Antoine and let's see what's what.
Let's do this. So thank you, Maurizio. What I'm going to show you guys is totally different, I guess. Like this is a lot more degenerate because I'm going to show you how I pick meme coins and find something around it. So I don't know if anyone have an opinion about meme coins, if they like it, if they don't like it, if they have traded it. Let me know if you traded them on Solana, on Base Chain.
We've all traded meme coins and we all I think it's tremendously fun and I love doing it, and it's not entirely sensible, and I'm fucking gonna do more of it, is the way that I think most of us feel about it.
All right, cool. Yeah, because for myself, like, yeah, I've been in crypto, same as you, like Scott, like since 2017, and I think meme coins are actually the most honest coins in the game, because there's a lot of project in crypto that promise that they're gonna have utility, that they can do this or they can do that, but we know most of the time it's bullshit and it's just speculation. But that's okay, we're here for that, and there's a lot of money to be made in it. However, with meme coins, you know from the beginning, there's no roadmap, there's nothing happening, so you can just trade them like that. And then what I like about it is like, it's usually a short game. It's 1 day up to 1 week maximum. So you can really have an impact and make some good money pretty fast if you have the good strategy and you know what you're doing. So normally I trade meme coins only in groups because like I feel like we are more like hunters trying to find like which one to take here. So I have a group that's the investors boardroom, and we are a few people like who are like really dedicated to this. So I will see what I can do by myself. But I have to tell you one thing is that today the Solana is pretty congested. So a lot of congestion. which means most of the people should not trade on Solana today. You should not trade any meme coins. Why? Because it's going to be the bots who are going to make all the money and not yourself. But let's try to find some on Solana, and then I will try to switch to Base. I guess most of you guys have some money on Solana, but I don't know if you have some on Base. Do you have some yourself, Scott, on Base? Do
I've
you
got a
have
little
wallet
bit,
with you?
but I've got a wallet, but I never really did anything. I've got like a couple of $1,000 in it just in case.
Okay, cool. So you see, that's something that is important to know. When I saw that you guys were checking the price of Solana and Ethereum. If people are buying Solana, it's to buy meme coins. There's no legit project on Solana except meme coins. And then for Ethereum, if all the layer 2 of Ethereum are going up, then there's a higher chance that Ethereum goes up as well. Let's check here. I would go in the filter. So I'm using Dex Screener. This is the major tool to use to find those meme coins. It will list all of them. Like first, like for me, I don't go in anything that is above $1 million market cap because I can't move it. I can't do anything. What I love is like when we're in group and we see a meme coin that is around 100K market cap, just a little bit below, and then we're like 10, 20 investors putting an order in. And then like this, we pass this threshold and then a lot of buyers start to come in. We did it multiple times and it's pretty fun to do. So per H, I'm going to look at something that is maximum 6 hours. LTV, I can put it, but normally in less than 6 hours created, we should have all the stuff, all platform. We are just going to do Solana today, just to show you.
Cool, man.
So you see Panties was created less than 6 hours ago and run up there, which is kind of crazy. I'm going to change it maybe to 2 hours then, because I don't want to have those one. I will just open them. And the goal of opening them is to see what is the trend going on. What kind of meme coins people want to trade today. And then after that, I'm like, okay, like either we are doing politics stuff, or we are doing sports stuff, or we are doing stupid meme, just all that. Like size matter. Like they don't even have a logo. They already went to $2 million market cap. So that's, as an investor, you could have made between 2K to 10K with a small bet. Now, of course, like this, not all easy to find. Then we can see Magic Internet. Okay. I got to open that one.
You know, that just reminds
So
me, I'd really
tough.
like to use some cocaine.
Yeah. So when you start to laugh at a meme, you know it's good. I think Scott, you say that one time, like a meme coin is you bet on how long the joke will last, right? And I can see here. So for myself, it's you don't hesitate to stop me and ask question. If someone can.
So
check
you're looking at the 1 minute
chat.
chart. Is that what you need to do here?
Yeah, always 1 minute chart.
Okay.
Then sometimes we even go to the 1 second chart, because this one, like, look, it was created like when you wake up, like 7:15.
Jesus.
So that's really new. And then there was already a lot of price action, if I could say. But I can see what happened here. It's that bots made all the money on the retail investor. And it's sad because I think that's a funny joke. However, I know, like I can, as I say, I do this almost every day. So for me, like everything like come right in my eyes. So don't hesitate to stop me and to ask questions. But here I can see those people that made already 5K, 2K, 2K, 1K. And I see that they didn't buy anything. So someone who is beginning would think, oh yeah, this is the developer who kept the money for himself and then he invested it and then he's selling it. I don't think so. That's probably a bot, and I'm gonna check the transaction here. So when I click on it, I have the SolScan open, which is the Explorer of Solana, and exactly. So that's gonna be a really cool case to see. This is what I see every day now, as the network is congested and everyone is fucking dumb and think they should trade on Solana still, and they get sandwiched by bots. Let me show you this transaction and pay attention. Here, you see blocks. All the blockchains works in blocks. So all the transactions go into a block and then the block go on the blockchain. So all the price that is moving, it depending of what happened in the block. So I can see that this guy put 2 transactions in one block. I'm going to open both of those transactions. That means he made them at the exact same time for the blockchain. It's a fucking Zoom thing annoying me. Okay, cool. Here we have plenty of transfer of Solana. Okay. And on that one, there we go. We got OMIC. So we can see that this person swapped, well, that's like 3 million MIC, when you know that the MIC, how many we had, I lost it here. To know how many tokens we have, when you're on Dex Screener, you can just go down here, and on the token, you keep exp. That's going to give you the address of the soul scan. And this is a 10 million market cap. So you see that bot bought 3 million and instantly sold it as well, which explain why you see some crazy candle like that, where the price in 1 minute went to 45 down to 39.
Why would they dump in 1 minute like that?
Because the network is congested, so a lot of people are trying to make transactions, and there's a lot of spread. So this guy, he used a bot. This is typically a bot. Like, they created the account, now the account is empty. This is a bot that just saw that, okay, there's a lot of activity on this coin and on all the coins on Solana today, actually, and since the past few days. And because most of the people will trade manually, then those bots, they go and they know better how to have the fees and to have their transaction first in. I'm not going to go in all the technical aspects unless you want me to, but it goes really down the rabbit hole. So this guy basically put a transaction at the beginning of the block and one at the end of the block. So he bought at the beginning of the block and sold at the end of the block. And what happened is all the retail investors, they bought in the middle. So he bought at the cheapest and sold as the most expensive because it was in the same block. So all this transaction is like, how could I say that? If you were to buy or sell something and you have this counter, and then everyone can say, oh, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. But then the price you're going to show up is only every minute that you update it. So it's not direct that much. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's what we call a sandwich attack. This is what we call a sandwich attack. So this is what can destroy a meme coin.
So you wouldn't trade this, and to be clear, after it shows this kind of price action, this kind of looks like ass to everyone. Like, I wouldn't touch this with this. I wouldn't fuck this with your dick, man. Like right now.
Yeah,
the way it goes?
There's few things I don't like about these coins. First, like 10 million coin printed. Usually we like to have a meme coin with 1 billion token. Why? This is just how it is. I mean, after, like, it depends how good is the meme and stuff like that. Like, those guys, they put a bit of work in it. They have a stupid website. Like, you can see the Twitter. I will analyze the Twitter. But maybe if the community is strong. So no, they have 10 followers. So yeah, I would stop here because that's going to be way too hard for them to go back up from this. I can show you another coin that had this actually. Because
so let's look at one that's a good one. Like, how do we recognize a good one?
How we recognize a good one? Penty seems to do good because it's at 11 million market cap. So
Yep.
Let's check the launch. That's always the part I want to check.
That's a manipulated launch for sure.
I mean, that's the thing. If you have a lot of people in, you can't do that. Now, the top traders, you see that we have some pretty weird thing happening here with one transaction at 35K and a PNL already of 400K. This started to trade, earlier this morning or like 6 hours ago.
So this guy's got a
Uh,
10x and he hasn't banked any yet.
He banked already.
Oh, he banked already. Okay.
But I don't know if it's a real, like, that's the thing. I would have to check, like, did he really bought for 35K or he just put an order later on? Let's actually click here. If you click on this little logo, you can filter all the transaction from one address and you can see what happened. So here, this person bought pretty early. Was it in the first minute? So yeah, they bought right at the launch for 200 SOL. Right at the launch at 200 SOL, they bought a lot of the supply, 66 million. We can check the transaction to see what kind of a person we had on. So nothing
So you
crazy
can
so
see
far.
immediately it started to go up. He started to bank profits, right? So he's de-risking right off the bat. He's not holding for a 10x. He's just like,
Exactly. All the meme coins traders is like that they don't
okay,
care.
so let's talk about that as being the optimal strategy, right? Like, because these things last, these things can die anytime. You never ever holding like to swing for the fences, right? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. For coin to reach 10 million or 100 million is exceptionally rare. But 1 million, it's not. So you will always try to sell like pretty early. Actually, we did a quite good one with my research team. It was Sun on base. Are we winning Sun? And this one is, you see now it's down the gutter. But when it launched, okay, we were here. We were here and we saw that the launch was okay. It was a slow launch. Then we got the bots that were out. So I always check the top traders to know if the bots are out or not. Because if you have someone that hold like 10% of the supply or even 5%, they're playing with your money. They can choose what they want to do. And then we started to buy
So dig into that, please. So if someone has 5% of the supply, they sell 5% of the supply, it's going to immediately crash the coin. And so no amount of technical analysis, no amount of chart reading, or no, because the guy just wakes up, has a funny feeling, and just goes, fuck it, I want to roll X, bang, mashes the sell button, and everything's fucked.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because it's usually low liquidity. So that's the thing. For example, if we take back our the one that did well, Book of Bull Run, which one we had? We're gonna go through all of those quickly, and then after I'm gonna try to find one that is new and interesting for the sake of it. Like, was it Penties? Okay, Penties. Like, this is 1 million liquidity, so that starts to be quite good. But when you see 1 million liquidity, it means that there is 500K in Solana in it and 500K in the Penties token. So there is actually, you should always think like half of the liquidity is there, because most of it is just like worthless token. So you see that guy that made 500K, he must have like really played it well, like how he did it, because he's hammered again and again. Because how it works, right, is in the liquidity pool. So I bring my tokens, my Penties tokens, and I'm gonna get some Solana token in exchange. And this one, yeah, so Sun, for example, we were on it, and then we sold around 1 million and something like that, 1 million market cap, and then we went out again at 600 or 700. We went fully out.
So
but
you're
you
looking
see
for things that are brand new, brand new with a successful launch. What is the ideal market cap?
For me, I'm degenerate, but I like to go something below 200K market cap.
Wow, I've never bought anything that small.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where it starts to be interesting, because if the bots are out, if you start to get your community behind it and you start to talk about it on Twitter, you can make some market movements. You can have an influence on the market, and that's where you want to be. You don't want to be the guy who is not able to do anything. Like Again, the guy who had like 500K, he was choosing how the market goes up and down. That's why he put a lot of order sales, like 30 order sales. Like this is not like a novice trader. Like would be like, okay, people mostly do 1 transaction in and 2 transaction out, maybe. This guy like went 1 in right at the beginning and then sell.
And they all using Unibot to do this, or they're using custom bots?
No. I can know on all the transactions what they use. So, for example, let's take one Rune.sol. So what is this? Is it a meme coin or is something educate, onboard, entertain? Welcome to the old library, your premier destination. Explain the of Bitcoin block. What the fuck is this? I can't even understand how this went to 3.2 million market cap. Look at that. Powered by GoDaddy website plus
Jesus,
marketing.
that's fucking not even trying, dude.
This is probably generated by AI behind it, and then a lot of bullshit that I don't know what they
Cookies
mean.
enabled, smoke cookies every day. Like,
But they have a big community on Twitter. Old library. Strange. 8-bit map.
so
So
what
that's
about
probably
the
when
strategy of buying the best meme coin of a given new chain that's starting to get traction? Is that a valid thing?
Yeah, we trade a lot on base because base it's a bit slower the game on base, so you have more time to find what you like, and then it's just a bit easier for now, I think. But Solana, they can go a lot higher. They can go a lot higher for sure.
Now, as far as the whole meme coin sector goes, if we get a really, really hot alt season, like a fucking nuts alt season, we could see all of these motherfuckers pop off, right? Like that's the best scenario is all the losers that you never bothered to get out, one day you wake up and they're just mooning. Could that happen, or is that never ever going to happen?
Only if there is some, I would say, well, I could say manipulation, but an organization behind it that decided that we pump this shit back up. Because a meme coin doesn't just appear out of the blue. Like it's impossible for people to go like, oh, okay, I'm going to search whatever name and I'm going to decide to buy some. So usually how it happens is they have what they call the community takeover. So either the community starts to buy in, but the thing is the community will be mostly people with like Twitter profile with 100 followers or something like that, and then nothing will happen. They will try to push it, but nothing will happen. However, if you get a group of influencers that have, let's say they gather 100K followers on Twitter, they say, let's take this coin and let's bring it back to the moon. So they're going to start to buy a little by little. And then they're going to do massive posts everywhere on Twitter. And people are going to gain attraction again. It's all about the attention economy here. It's like the attention market. So how many eyeballs you can get on your meme coin. And
do you follow influencers, or is that the exact wrong strategy?
Is that what, sorry?
Is that the wrong strategy, like Ansem or whoever's the hot boy on Solana campus right now? Do you follow those guys, or is it not worth doing, or is that a sucker play? Because I'm sure lots of people do that.
Yeah, they probably follow them. So it's hard to say. If there's some guys like I got them, like usually I try to find their wallets, so I know what they will be buying or selling. And however, like there's a lot of noise. So if I go on the new pairs, there's less noise. I don't see all those guys, so I will be more comfortable. Because if you follow them, you gotta be like sure that you are the first one buying as soon as they tweet, and then probably they talked about it into a insider group.
So you wouldn't be doing that unless you've got their wallets and you see what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Unless I can get an edge, I wouldn't particularly do it. But if they pump one to, let's say, 50 million or whatever, or 100 million.
How often does that happen? Does a coin, because these coins can get to 10 million pretty easily. It's pretty hard to get to 100 million. 100 million is like the breakout level of like, wow, that's a fucking real coin, right?
Yeah. I don't have the data. I know it's a very low chance, but it's the survivor's dilemma where we only see the one that break out. I want to try to find out actually the data because that will give us an idea of like what's going on. Let's see, like this one was trending today, Me and the Boys. It's not that funny, honestly, already. I will always check like what's the picture, what's like. You always check that the liquidity is locked as well, obviously. Their Twitter and their Telegram. Me and the Boys, the long waited, I think we made it actually.
That's so lame, dude. That's the best fucking idea for a joke. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that great. It's not that great. But for example, like let me show you another launch that can get wrecked by bots, and then after we will try to find one. So this one is quite new pair, Handsome Pepe. Find me on Tinder. This one you see that you had
Strong launch.
really, really strong. You will see the size of the candles is crazy. Like you see that, like the price on the same minutes could start at 18.05 up to 44.
Now you have to be using Unibot for these. Like you have, so don't you, right?
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah, at least.
so if you're buying these and you're just going to like a swap site and saying I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to know when to sell, like it all happens too fast for that, right?
Yeah, it all happened too fast. But
So
yeah,
can you show
one
your
had the same
can you show your standard settings on Unibot so that like
Yeah.
share your Telegram, because this is really important.
it's probably around here.
Okay, so Unibot is a Telegram channel. And
Let me give them the link. Host and panelist.
Well, that's the most untrustworthy link.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
fuck,
fucking
bro.
Yeah, it's stupid name.
I want a condom for my condom when I fuck with that bitch.
Do not worry. We are building our own. We're gonna release this week the one that works on EVM. So base chain, all the Ethereum blockchains.
Okay, so you're using Unibot and you need settings so that it automatically takes profit when it goes up, right?
Yes. So that's in the sell settings, believe. So no, that's not this one. Auto sell. That's the auto sell. Sorry. So,
Okay. So
when you go, let me go back. When you do start, they're gonna give you the address. You put some Solana on it, and then you go into your settings. Here I have the auto buy, the auto sell, but I'm gonna go in the advanced mode. And then once I am in the advanced mode, I'm gonna click auto sell. And this is what will be like once my coin do 100%, I take profit. 40% when it goes plus 400%, I take 25. 1000%, I take 40%.
Okay,
And-
so let's look at what you're doing. You're taking 40% profit at 1-to-1 risk reward. Like it doubles,
Yeah.
and then at a 4-to-1, you're taking another 25. Is that 25% of what's left or 20?
25% of what's left.
Okay, and then at a 10x, you're 100% out.
Mm-hmm.
And
More
what
than 10x actually, yeah.
What-
10x
and,
is here.
and you do you fuck with this once you're in it, or this is like standard set and forget?
No, rarely I would fuck with it. Like it's pretty rare. Yeah, I would just leave it like that. But again, like I haven't been trading a lot on Solana those days. I trade a lot more on Base. So yeah, but yeah, I will rarely fuck with it today.
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit to why that's the optimal strategy. Meme coins do not exhibit momentum effects like the big coins do, and
Yeah,
coins have stronger momentum effects, as in the effect where the strongest coin is predictive of future strength, the bigger the coin is and the lower the volatility of the coin is. So Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana have extremely strong trend effects. These things have negative trend effects because if they go up fast, it's predictive of a dump, not a further pump, right?
Yes,
with a bunch of
yeah,
maths backing
yeah,
up.
exactly, yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is really interesting.
By the way, it's me who launched this coin, so that's why I wanted to show it.
And what kind of win rate percentage are you getting overall with doing this? Like, I'm interested because I fucked around. I had a couple of really outlier wins that I didn't manage risk properly. I had Cock Inu that I held from pre-listing and blah blah blah. How often does a coin jump the shark and become a real coin, like a Dog with Hat or a Cock Inu? How often do they just and what kind of win rate do you personally get doing this?
For now, I think like when I do it in group because it's more effective, we are about like 1 coin out of 4, I would say,
Okay,
or out of 3 that go very high. That would go like more than 4x and close to 10x, at least something like that. So
okay, so let's work it out. If you get a 10x, you've got your money back, and you've got 25% so you've got double your money at 4x.
yeah,
At 10x, you've got
it's like if we go 0.1, then with 10x we get a 1. And then we get the 3 other that we put 0.1 as well. So we had 0.7 at the end.
Okay, so you've got 0.17 from a 0.1. So if you run the tables on it, you're getting a 7. And how often does so the 20% win rate is about what percentage of the winners get to be that run the tables kind of win? Probably 20% of those.
That can give that kind of wins. Yeah. So the thing is, it really depends of the day. Like you gotta see how is the market to see is it that strong today? Do we get like a lot of shit flying, or is
okay? So these are definitely 100% not going to work when the market goes down.
Apparently meme coins did pretty well still. I mean, it's just going to be harder to find them. It's just going to be harder. But there's meme coin seems to be traded differently so far. Like I don't know.
That's interesting. So about 20% of coins are going to make 17. About 20% of coins are going to make a profit that you at least get your money back. And about 20% of those, which is about 4%, are going to make a 17x. So that's an average of about 0.68 x plus getting your money back. I'd have to work it out on a spreadsheet, but that's a positive expectancy, right? Like this is a game. This is a game that if you play the game correctly, you have a positive expectancy.
Yes, that's the thing. Like most of the people will lose into scams, or they will hold on stuff. Like the worst is like if you start to trade one, you join their Telegram group and everyone tells you to fucking hodl and stuff like that, and they're dumping on you. So that would be those things. Like there's like also like in the 3 other coins, like usually like we just get one who would go really bad and the 2 others would be fine. But again, that's what we saw trading on base.
Okay. Bro, this is really interesting to me personally. I better talk about some real market stuff because some of these guys like aren't interested in this degenerate gambling stuff. But so what you've told me today is that if you do enough of these, if you treat it seriously, and obviously if you're working on something with a 20% win rate, you can't just do one here, one there, one like you've got to do you've got to do it as a serious thing, right? Like you've got to do some most days, right?
Yeah, the best I think is to sit down an hour and just try to find between all those, like see what's going on, and then really train to say no to most of them, and then after you can start to find the good ones.
Okay, and what kind of size are you buying these things in? Like 0.2 Sol?
Let me
Sol?
convert back because I was in Ethereum, so I would put $100 to $200.
And how much?
From $50 to $200, yeah.
Okay, so you're not risking any sort of serious money on these.
No, because like we have a meme investment fund, and then I know everyone have different capital, so I started with 1,000. So like this, my goal is to really try to grow this. Yeah, we double
have a
it
fund?
actually. So, yeah, we have a decentralized fund.
Really? How do I put money in this fund? That sounds a lot better than like me fucking. I hate this shit.
I will send you the address, and you just tell me you put 1,000 in it, and then you will directly copy the trades of our main wallets.
Okay, so this is much more interesting to me. Okay, and if guys want to learn more about you, where do they go? Where do they see you stuff?
I'm gonna put the links. We get a YouTube, and then
Yeah, because I mean I kind of like the idea of like, you know, throwing 10 or 20 grand in your fund rather than me waking up and doing this shit. Like I need another time consuming, stressful task. Like I need a third ball, you know?
yeah. I mean that's why most of the so I have the investors boardroom, where it's our private group, and that's where we get the meme trading fund, and then we're building another fund actually for longer plays as well, because we invest early in other projects. So we're building another fund for that, decentralized as well. So you always keep a control on your assets. And yeah, so in the investors boardroom, you can have access to the fund and then copy it.
Sounds good to me. All right, guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this back and I'm gonna share some stuff that I think is in the few minutes we got left. I'm gonna share some stuff that I think what we have seen since the last little shakeout. And you know, you can see the market kind of shit the bed here. If I put a vertical line, this was the bottom of the market shitting the bed. Let's look at what's happened since then. We've got a couple of standout coins, right? We've got Lever, we've got Pendle, we've got Doge. And the good stuff, so the point that I want to make is that this is a broad mix of coins. This is not like it's not like all DeFi, it's not all this, it's not all that. It's like it's broad base. So my opinion, the other thing that I want to point out is look at where Bitcoin is the dark blue line. Look at how many altcoins have beaten Bitcoin. Almost every altcoin except for a handful are beating Bitcoin. And if we go back a bit further, we're seeing the same thing, the dark blue. If we go back to February, Bitcoin's about halfway through. You can see that as we get closer to where we are now, we've got some coins starting to beat Bitcoin. So my opinion is that right now you probably want to be concentrated in coins that are close to or beating Bitcoin. And that's Lever is an interesting situation because it's a manipulated coin. I mean, this is a DWF Labs coin. This one looks kind of promising to me, but it's a scam coin. So that at some point it's going to dump. Pendle, obviously this is a standout. This is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price action. We've been talking about it for days. Every video I've been saying you don't own enough Pendle. And you can see why every time we have a dip, it gets gobbled up. Every time we have a dip, it gets gobbled up. What that tells us is that there's people who want to buy this motherfucker. The other coin that look really good, Sui looks really good here. INJ looks like a low risk coin. Why? Because below here, well, excuse my crappy drawing, no one is going to want to be in this coin. Like if it goes down, it's going to probably keep going down, but we're buying it really close to that point. So we've got a very small, risk until we know we're wrong. This is until we know we're wrong. And if we're right, we've got a massive upside. And this is the kind of bet that you should be taking. So overall, what do I think you should be in? I think you should be in relatively bigger coins at this stage. I think we're in the early stages of a rally. In the early stages of a rally, bigger coins tend to get the meat of it. I'd be looking at Woo, Sui, Doge, looks fantastic. Pepe looks fantastic. Phil looks okay. SEI looks okay. INJ looks good. IMX looks pretty good. Solana looks amazing. NIA looks like a standout overall. Like you want to stay in these sort of large, you want to stay in these large-ish cap, top 100 to top 30 is the sweet spot. I don't think it's the time to be in Ethereum and Bitcoin anymore. I think it's the time that it feels like we've got a broad-based rally where all of the alts are going up and the market's turning and everything's going to go up and you just want to be on the coins that start breaking out. Thanks so much, Antoine. Really appreciate your knowledge here. I learned a lot. Yeah, really appreciate it. And Handsome Finance is his YouTube channel. That's a fucking name. What the fuck? But you can obviously tell he's legit. Like he knows way more about this stuff than any of us is. So, and I'm really interested in that fund coin thing. So, yeah, when you get that, yeah, I think a bunch of us here would probably throw $1,000 in that.
All right. Cool, that was today.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool today. I learned some stuff.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.